Hello, good morning students. Okay, yesterday we learnt about the very important combination of resistors, right? Series combination and parallel combination of resistors. In the series combination, the effective resistance of combination is equal to sum of the individual resistors, sum of the individual resistances of the resistors. Whereas in case of parallel combination, the reciprocal of the effective resistance is equal to the sum of the reciprocals of the individual resistances. Okay. Now there is one interesting finding, there is one interesting equation which you will come across frequently while solving the numerical problems. How to find the branch current? You see, branch currents I1 and I2. Let us see the circuit. Let us say that R1 and R2 are two resistors connected in parallel, right? And I is the main current that is entering. If I is the main current that enters, then we know that the current I will have branch currents I1 and I2. The current I will have branch currents I1 and I2. The same current I1 after passing through R1, it joins this junction, the other junction. You can say this is point A, this is point B. And the current I2, that is the remaining current I minus I1, that current I2 passes through R2 and again meets the junction B, so that the total current I is equal to I1 plus I2. Here it is going to be I1 plus I2 is going to become I. So here main current, we know what is main current. Main current I is equal to I1 plus I2. We want to find out what is the value of I1 and what is the value of I2. How to find out values of I1 and I2 separately with the known values of R1 and R2. See, the potential difference across AB is same as potential difference across resistance R1 is same as the potential difference across resistance R2. So that is the important thing because they are in parallel. Potential difference across R1 is equal to potential difference across R2. PD across R1 is equal to PD across R2. What is PD across R1? The product of current and resistance. Look at this. I1 R1. I1 R1 is the potential difference across the resistance R1. And what is PD across R2? I2 R2. I2 R2. Therefore, I1 R1 is equal to I2 R2. So this helps me to find out the branch currents I1 and I2, right? Now, I want to find out I1. So, eliminating I2. How to eliminate I2? What is I2 from this equation? I2 is I minus I1. From this equation, I2 is equal to I minus I1. So, substitute I minus I1. What happens if you substitute I minus I1? If you substitute I minus I1, then look at this. I1 R1 is equal to I2 R2. Therefore, this implies I1 R1 is equal to I minus I1 into R2, right? Now expand this. So this becomes I R2 minus I1 R2 equal to I1 R1, I1 R1, right? Now take this I1 R1 and I2 R2 one side. So it becomes I1 R1 plus I1 R2. I1 R1 plus I1 R2 After taking it this side, it becomes IR2, where I is the main current. Therefore, I1 if you take out common, thus we get I1 if you take out common, you will get R1 plus R2. R1 plus R2 is equal to main current IR2, main current IR2. Therefore, branch current I want to find out. Therefore, from this, what is branch current? I1 is equal to IR2 by R1 plus R2. This becomes the branch current. IR2 divided by R1 plus R2. On the same lines, I can find out what is the value of I2 also. If I want to find out I2, I1 can be eliminated. If you eliminate I1, what are you left with? You are getting I minus I2. You are getting I minus I2 here. I minus I2 into R1 is equal to I minus I2 into R1 is equal to I2 R2. I2 R2. Now simplify this. Therefore, I R1 is equal to, take this side, it becomes I2 into bracket R1 plus R2 on the same steps. Therefore, this implies another branch current I2 is equal to main current I into resistance of the other branch R1 divided by total resistance R1 plus R2. Total resistance R1 plus R2. This is how we find out the branch currents. Very interestingly, we can write branch currents. Branch current I1 through R1 is equal to main current into resistance of the other branch divided by total resistance R1 plus R2. So that's how we can write branch current. Branch current is equal to main current, that is total current, main current I into resistance of other branch, resistance of other branch whole divided by sum of the resistances, sum of the resistances. Sum of the resistances. This is how, if you take any example, you can solve for I1 or I2. This is a very useful equation. Okay, fine. Next, we are going to learn the cell's EMF and terminal potential difference. What is difference between EMF and terminal potential difference? What is a cell, right? So, let us study cell's EMF and internal resistance. When you want to allow current to pass through a device like a bulb, you need to have a cell, and cell is the source of voltage which provides the required steady current. It is a cell. The cell consists of two electrodes, negative and positive electrodes. It consists of two electrodes, negative and positive one is called positive electrode P, another one is called negative electrode N, right? And these are immersed into a bath consisting of electrolyte, Therefore, it is also called as electrolytic cell. It is also called as electrolytic cell. Now, what is a cell? Is a source of electric field or voltage which supplies steady current. steady current through the circuit, right? Now, when you just insert or dip these electrodes, metal electrodes, like a positive electrode, it is let us say a copper electrode inserted in a copper sulfate solution, like dilute copper sulfate solution, and this is a zinc electrode which is dipped here, and this is the electrolytic bath, just a simple design of a cell. Then what happens? Suppose you are considering an immediate point. Suppose this is a point A. So, with respect to this point A in the electrolyte, this electrode has positive potential V plus. Similarly, with respect to a neighboring point, just imaginary neighboring point B, the negative electrode develops potential negative potential V minus. It develops negative potential V minus, minus V minus, right? So, now first the total potential difference supplied by the battery. Total potential difference supplied by the cell is equal to potential difference between P and A. As I told you, P is for positive, N is for negative, plus potential difference between N and B, plus potential difference between A and B, potential difference between A and B. So, A and B are the points in the electrolyte. Yes. Now, think that the cell is not yet connected to the external circuit, it is still in the open circuit. When the cell is in the open circuit, then the potential difference provided by the cell in the open circuit is called its EMF, electromotive force. The potential difference across the terminals of a cell which is in open circuit, means not connected to the external circuit. That potential difference between P and N, when these two terminals are not connected to the external circuit, is called as its electromotive force, is called as its EMF, denoted by E. What is EMF? EMF is electromotive force. It is a short abbreviation of electromotive force. But remember, it is not force. It is not force. Remember this. This is not force. This is potential difference. This is PD, or what you call voltage or potential difference. Right? Potential difference which is measured measured in voltage. Therefore, it is a wrong abbreviation to name it as electromotive force, since it is being used historically from the beginning, from the historic times, from the time it was being designed. The same term is being continued to use to call it as EMF, but remember, it is not force, it is voltage, right? Fine. Then what is the value of EMF? From this above equation, potential difference between P and A, potential difference between P and A is V plus, and potential difference between N and A, this becomes minus of minus V plus, minus of minus V minus. So, this becomes V plus minus of minus V minus. So, it becomes V plus plus V minus. Now, what is potential difference between A and B? Potential difference between A and B at present is 0, because no current flows. Therefore, this is 0. So, therefore, EMF E is equal to V plus plus V minus, V plus plus V minus, this becomes EMF. So, remember, what is EMF of a cell? EMF of a cell is the potential difference between the two terminals of the cell when it is not being still connected to the external circuit. It is still in open circuit. Like when you purchase a dry cell, it will be written on the wrapper of the dry cell, it will be written 1.5 volt. That is the potential difference. That itself is the EMF of the cell. When that cell is connected to external circuit, what happens? Suppose this is connected to external circuit, a simple external circuit consisting of a resistor. Then what happens? The current starts flowing from P to N. Current starts flowing from P to N. See here, the current starts flowing from positive terminal through this branch, through this resistance R, and thus as long as potential difference is there, the current will be flowing. So, you will see the external current flowing from P to N via resistance R. What happens inside the cell? Inside the cell, the current flows from N to P. Inside the cell, the current flows from N to P. That is how the charges are continuously being supplied. The charges are continuously being supplied from positive terminal through the external resistance R, and they reach back to negative terminal, and inside the cell it is the electrolyte. The electrolyte is having the positive and negative charges. So, the movement of positive and negative charges start taking place, right. So, as a result, the current starts flowing from N to P. Since the current is in the opposite direction, so the direction is from N to P here, so it will have negative sign, right. Now, if the terminals P and N are connected across a resistance, connected across a resistance R, then connected across resistance R, then what happens? Current starts flowing. Current flows from P to N externally. Current flows P to N externally. And N to P internally. Internally means inside the cell. Then I can write what is the total potential difference now. When the circuit is now closed through the external resistance R, now terminal potential difference, terminal PD becomes here V plus V minus, right? Next, the current is flowing from B to A. So, potential difference between B and A or A and B will no more be 0 now, because the current is flowing from N to P. So, it becomes minus IR. What is R? Where R is the internal resistance shown by the electrolyte, where R here, small r is the internal resistance that is developed inside the electrolyte of the cell. What is internal resistance? Internal resistance is the resistance to the flow of the positively charged and negatively charged ions inside the cell. When the ions are in movement, the ions may undergo collision among themselves, right? The ions will collide with other ions. As a result, there will be an internal resistance developed. So, opposition to the flow of charges inside the electrolyte is called as internal resistance. So, that is denoted by small r. So, where you can write what is small r? R is called internal resistance. R is called internal resistance. Therefore, terminal potential difference V is given by V plus V minus. Already we know what is V plus V minus. It is E. E minus IR. E minus IR. This is a very important equation. Therefore, terminal potential difference is equal to EMF minus I into R, where R is the internal resistance. So, definitely terminal potential difference is the potential difference between the two terminals of the cell when the cell is closed, when it is connected to the external circuit. Definitely the terminal potential difference in this case is less than EMF of the cell. It is less than the EMF of the cell, right? When the circuit is open, suppose you break the circuit, what happens? Circuit is open. Now, no current flows in the external circuit. When no current flows in the external circuit, I becomes 0. Then V becomes equal to E. It means EMF of the cell is the terminal potential difference of the cell when no current flows through the external circuit, right? That is how we understand the difference between EMF and the terminal potential difference. So, terminal potential difference is the potential difference between the two terminals of the cell when it is in closed circuit. So, I will write the potential difference across the terminals of a cell which is in closed circuit, which is in closed circuit with the external resistance, when connected to the external resistance. Closed circuit means connected to the external circuit is called as EMF, not EMF, terminal potential difference is called as terminal potential difference. Terminal potential difference. Okay. Now you can make the list of differences between EMF and the terminal potential difference. What are the differences between EMF and terminal potential difference? Right. Now what is internal resistance? You can just write the resistance to the flow of charges or ions inside the electrolyte is called as internal resistance. It is always denoted by small r. Okay. Now look at this equation. Based on this equation, we are going to get the equation for the main current I. So finally we got V equal to E minus IR. Where V is the terminal potential difference, E is the EMF, and I is the main current, and small r is internal resistance. Okay. Now let us find out the equation for main current. So let us write the equation for main current. So from this V equal to E minus IR, you see V equal to E minus IR. I can write what is V? V is also equal to R into I, where R is the external resistance, right? When the current I is flowing through the external resistance, the potential difference across the external resistance is same as the terminal potential difference. So V is equal to Ri also, and V is equal to E minus IR, where R is the external resistance, where R is external resistance. Right? Now equate them, you will get an interesting equation. When you equate them, Ri is equal to E minus IR. So take this I on one side, Ri plus IR minus IR. If you take it this side, it becomes plus IR. This becomes E, where E is the EMF. Therefore, I into R plus R is equal to E. This implies main current I is equal to E by R plus R. Right? So this is the equation for main current. Where E is the EMF and R is the total resistance, or the resistance that is connected across the circuit, and small r is the resistance, internal resistance. Small r is internal resistance. And remember, this internal resistance usually will be negligibly small. Unless otherwise mentioned, R will be taken as 0. Usually internal resistance will be small. For the cells like button cells, the button cells which are used in the, you see, wristwatches, the cells which are used in the mic, mic system, right? The cells which are used in the remote control, the dry cells, okay, the dry cells which are used in the remote control, the dry cells which are used in the torch, these are all one type of cells which cannot be recharged. These are called as dry cells, or these are called as primary cells. There are two types of cells: primary cells, second one secondary cells. Remember. So you are learning in detail in chemistry also. Primary cells are the ones which cannot be recharged. Once they are completely used, then they have to be dumped. They should be dumped into the dustbin. So they cannot be recharged. So non-rechargeable cells are primary cells. Like examples: dry cells, button cells, etc., which are non-rechargeable. So these dry cells or button cells are called as primary cells. Remember, these primary cells are having more internal resistance. They are having more internal resistance R compared to secondary cells. Then what are secondary cells? Definitely from this meaning, rechargeable cells are called as secondary cells. Rechargeable cells or batteries. Rechargeable cells or batteries are called as secondary cells, like our mobile battery. It is a rechargeable, right? Mobile battery. And some nickel cadmium cells which are used for camera, they are also rechargeable. Rechargeable cells used for camera, right? And the battery which is used in the vehicles, two-wheeler, four-wheeler, that is also rechargeable, lead acid battery. Cells or battery are called as secondary cells, like lead acid battery. Mobile battery or the laptop battery, right? Whichever are there which are rechargeable, they are called as secondary cells. Remember, these are having less internal resistance. These are having less internal resistance. Okay. As we go on using these cells for longer duration of time, since the chemical reactions take place continuously, then the internal resistance naturally increases. Right? Internal resistance naturally increases. What are the factors on which internal resistance depends? These things you are going to learn in chemistry in detail, right? What are the factors on which the internal resistance of the electrolyte depends? This thing you are going to learn in detail in chemistry, right? Okay. Now we have discussed enough about internal resistance. Now, when you look at this important equation, that is I equal to E upon R plus R. Right? When will be the current maximum? Current will be maximum if the external resistance R is minimum. If no external resistance is there, if there is no external resistance, then the current through the cell will be maximum. If the terminals of the cell are connected without any external resistance, then the current through that circuit, external circuit, without any external resistance will be maximum, and it is called short circuit current. What happens in that case? If R is equal to 0, if no external resistance is connected, then current becomes maximum. Maximum current is equal to E by R. In most of the cases, internal resistance is negligible. R is almost tending to be 0. If R is almost tending to be 0, right? If R is almost tending to be 0, then I max tends to be infinity. So this is what we call it as short circuit. So this is called short circuit current. Short circuit current. So we should not connect the two terminals of the battery directly without any external resistance. In order to have some limited current, external resistance should be always connected, so that the current that is drawn out will be some limited value. Otherwise, the cells will be damaged. The cells or the batteries will be damaged. This thing should be remembered. So the current that is drawn depends on the external resistance that is connected. So the external resistance plays a very important role in order to have a limitation on the current that is drawn from the battery. Okay. With this we will conclude, and in the next session we will solve some numerical problems and we will go ahead with current electricity. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.